to African Flavor, and thank you so much for taking this time to join us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Anissa.
Right, let's get straight to it. I want to know what makes you African.
I'm African when I'm not just concerned about my own personal well being, comfort, and advancement, but when I have a desire and commit to see the collective Black body rise. We must draw from the pre colonial Africa to emulate what it is to be an African. And for me, the essence of Ubuntu is the unique trait that sums it all up. We stop being African when we become selfish and greedy. To be truly African, we must bridge the system of classism and lift others as we rise.
Beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, this is so true. Most of the time, we look at the colonial aspects to define ourselves as African. And you clearly just put it out there saying, no, we have to look beyond these colonial structures. The next I want to know from you, let's talk African unity, historically and currently. I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and I said that historically Africans were united. You know, I think our grandparents, or before that, before this thing called civilization came about, Africa was united. What happened? Can you just give us a scope on that?
I think you're right. Unity in the historical context of Africa was a way of life more than a moral ideology that we have today. Africa was founded upon an integrated way of life that saw Africans living as equals. In pre colonial Africa, social and economic activities were guided by unity. People did not look only into providing for themselves and their families, but instead communities worked together towards achieving a common goal so that when harvest comes, it comes for everyone. That's why the colonizer had to divide to conquer. Africa was so united that the only way to destabilize it was to divide it. And that's where its strength lies even today. Unity in Africa today is rather questionable because unity must bear fruits, equality, fairness, and justice, to name a few. And today we are taught unity as a matter of morality, whereas unity is a broader way of life with effects that should be seen. Unity is an action word and not a state of mind. We are not one because moral principles dictate we should be one, but because we are willing to share equally. A poor man, for instance, when he's united with a rich man, there's no way he can remain poor. The one with much should be willing to share and help the other one out of his poverty. There is no unity in a society where the rich become richer and the poor become poorer, which is what we are seeing in our society today. Such unity is deceitful. So what we have today is, classism, and the capitalistic world has really divided us completely.
That is so true, and it has given us more of this cosmetic sense of Ubuntu, like you have said. Just before I let you go, and I would really love for you to tell us about Arise Black Child. We'll do that in a while. I want to know from you which African leader stands out for you,
It has to
if
be.
any. But definitely
Sure,
there is, yes.
I have a lot.
Okay.
But it has to be the upright man from Burkina Faso, Thomas Sankara.
Right. Thomas
Um,
Sankara, definitely.
oh,
Why would you say he stands out for you?
that's the man for me because his selfless leadership, passion, and commitment to the Bekunabe people was
Mm,
impeccable.
mm,
He
mm,
took Burkina Faso to great heights, leading
mm,
it to sustain its own food supply, amongst many things, cutting all ties with foreign aid. He also
Mm-hmm.
decisively fought against corruption, and he made it very clear to his cabinet that being in government has nothing to do with opulence and flamboyance like we see today,
Definitely.
but putting the people first.
Definitely. That is really, really beautiful. Just before I let you go, I think we will be getting you back for a panel discussion. Can you just quickly tell us about Arise Black Child and what it seeks to do?
Arise Black Child is a Black conscious Pan African movement that seeks to psychologically liberate Black people.
Mm,
We acknowledge that the Black child is still haunted by the effects and the implications of the colonial and the apartheid regime in
mm,
South Africa, of course. And although we acknowledge that government is doing something to redress the inequalities of the past, we can't deny the fact that much more needs to be done
mm,
to liberate the Black child. And I think very little is being done to deal with the inferiority complexities that the Black child has sustained and continues to sustain. The truth of the matter is that the Black child still thinks that he's inferior. And
mm,
there's a reason
mm,
for that. He still lives in a shack. And, there's still
mm,
a very clear distinction of a Black child and a white child. He does not have the social capital like
mm,
the white child. A white child finishes school and immediately becomes a CEO of a company. A Black child goes to varsity and sits home with a degree. So there's still a lot of things that affect us psychologically. And Arise Black Child is aimed at psychologically liberating Black people and allowing that
beautiful.
allowing that mental revolution to be a forerunner of socio-economic Afrocentric solutions.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us. We will get you back for the panel discussion with the rest of our guests. That was Sandile Msibi. He is the president of Arise Black Child. He put it beautifully there, where he spoke about how we need to use a collective Black body for unity. He also spoke about Arise Black Child, which is an organization that he runs. He's talking about the fact that the Black child is still psychologically enslaved. We need psychological liberation in order to give us social and economic emancipation. Now, next, we will have Tabile Lenkwane. She is a